internet fans, and welcome to another episode of the Buddies Forever VCast with your hosts, Rotten Roger DeMarco,
Evil Dead Inks.
Trying something a little different today. We never get to be in the same room very often, so we tried doing the 247 degrees.
Ain't no trying. We did it.
We did it, but it
took a long time to recover too.
We did we had video issues, so that episode will be released primarily as an audio commentary, which I'm a little sad about because I really wanted you guys to see the
descent
into madness and how sweaty we were.
Particularly me. I've never been in a sauna in my life, and definitely that last 5 to 10 minutes, it was getting sketchy for me.
It's just like, I need to get out of here.
Yeah. Initially, like, well, we'll run through the credits, and then I'm like, all right, as soon as the fucking first title comes up of I'm out.
Yeah, shit.
Like, at least open the door.
We were struggling. So this is a format that we're going to test out on occasion. Every week, the Buddies Forever VCast will continue to be the split screen Skype conversations, but when we get together, we will attempt to do this format, just to discuss the stuff that's in the horror news and what we're excited for and things like that.
At least this way, if we talk over each other, there's no second delay or anything to it. It'll be, this is right there in the cut. There's no bullshit. Any disputes, we can solve these right here.
Yeah, right here. So one of the first things that demands our attention and demands your attention is the Happy Death Day to You trailer. Now, the trailer got released with Halloween, but it wasn't available on the internet until Friday, right? It come out Friday?
Friday or yesterday.
And
it came out this weekend.
So
of recording. So
when I saw Halloween in the theaters, I saw like a midnight screening. They were testing the print. There was no trailers really attached, so that's what I got to see. And when Evil went to the theaters, he got to see it. So he was one up on me and was like, man.
That was the trade-off. He's messaging me 2 days before the movie comes out. Like, I'm going to go see it tonight. I'm like, you fucker. But then I got out of the theater. I'm like, I got to see Happy Death Day trailer too. How about you? And he goes, no.
Nope, I didn't get to. Just until actually this morning when I finally got to watch it. And I got to say, a lot of people didn't care for that first movie. That in my immediate circle, I've heard they really liked it. I've heard that it was trash. It was, annoying, whatever, and I completely disagree.
I didn't hear any of that because my immediate circle is the wife and you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, we all like it. It was fantastic.
It's such a fun movie that
it hits that criteria of us having a popcorn horror movie on.
Yeah.
It can be a background movie and enjoyable.
Yep. And so the sequel looks like it's picking up exactly where it left off, only now.
It is. And when they announced that, I'm like, that's not good. That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had doubts. I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this, Wayne.
I'd like to get by now.
Yeah. And then when I actually got to see it, I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah, totally
no
sold
doubts.
me. Totally sold me. And for those of you who haven't seen it, we're gonna drop it in so you can take a look. So let's drop that trailer right now.
Dude, I am tripping right now. I feel like I've totally lived through this day already.
Deja vu?
Yes.
The day reset when you died, right?
Yeah.
I might be able to help with that. I died 11 times. I was stuck reliving the same day over and over again until someone wearing a baby mask murdered me on the night of my birthday. Turns out it was my roommate, Lori. I kicked her crazy ass out a window and killed her, which broke the loop. But now I'm living the better version of my life.
You okay?
No.
Oh, hey, you're up. I folded your pants for you.
No way.
Dude, did you hit that or what?
I don't believe this. It's Monday the 18th again. Stop global warming.
Go.
I'm dead, I'm dead!
Go, shorty. It's your birthday.
I thought it ended the loop, but I'm back. Oh my god. Everything's different. This time, it's coming after all of us.
If you don't reset the day and try again, they're dead for good, aren't they?
So I'm gonna have to die over and over again to save all of you.
I mean, I guess you could just reset the day yourself.
Genius idea.
Okay,
Okay, let's do this.
They like me, I want them to love me like they love pop.
If I don't stop the killer, more people will die. Failure's not an option.
Focus, man. My money on my mind. Got a meal out the deal, and I'm still on the grind. Now, shorty says,
I'm literally dying to figure this out.
a girl from Wooded, they buy, and they ready to go.
Oh, hey, you're up.
I'm so done with this shit.
My flow, my show brought me to
I am on borrowed time here.
They bought me all my fancy things.
What the
My crib, my car, my clothes, my
All right, let's see what you got.
game up, and I ain't came.
We're in crisis mode, Tree. Who's gonna pledge Kappa now that we have a death curse?
And now we're back. The magic of editing.
Yes. Feels like it was just a second ago. I started watching that.
Yes.
And 2 minutes went by like nothing.
Like nothing. So
2.5.
let us know in the comments if there's anything subtle that you noticed that we didn't. However, when I was watching it,
there's a ton there that I gotta slow it down.
Maybe we'll do a complete breakdown, and then I'd like to see what you guys found, because that was just a quick skim through on the trailer.
Yeah.
But it's at the very beginning. It says pay close attention, and then there's a lot of like words coming at you, and certain letters are red, certain letters are white. I'm wondering if something in there spells something out, which I don't know why it would, but it seems like some sort of
seems like that, but they also could be them kind of people.
Yeah, it seems like some sort of a sneaky thing.
They'd be like, let's just throw them way the fuck off the path.
Mm-hmm. So it might say something strange in there, and maybe we'll go back.
Like when the Friday the 13th game was coming out, and we were trying to come up with ways like, oh, you can kill Jason, or like, how could you kill Jason? And
yeah.
My theory was, like, what if you just have a can of gas next to him and you happen to shoot a flare gun at that can of gas and blow him up?
Blow him the fuck up, and then the developers shut us down real quick. They're like, nah, not a chance.
Or like, they should at least set him on fire.
Yeah, it's not that easy.
Throwing a flaming machete at you. Invite only corn poke.
And you weren't invited. Holy shit, that would have been awesome.
You can edit my head.
Yeah. A couple other things. Very recent in the horror news is Jordan Peele.
Yeah, got a hold of Candyman.
Is finally doing a Candyman film. Now, this is not necessarily a reboot. From some of the stuff that I've read, that this is almost like a direct sequel to the original, which seems like a trend, you know?
I wonder where that idea could have came from.
Yeah, gee. No, but I'm fine with that. I'm fine with this resurgence of these classic characters, and I'm really, really on board if somehow, some way, Tony Todd stays attached. Which
I can see him being like a like as far as how Carpenter was in the process of remaking the new Halloween. I can see him doing something like that. I'd be all for him being Candyman again.
Yeah,
it's hard to. He's almost Robert Englund level
irreplaceable.
Stature. Like, I don't know how you're gonna get someone different for that, but
yeah,
I would totally go with somebody new. I would go with a complete unknown. That way, you're not tying that person to anything else.
Yeah, I suppose
you kind of can establish them as okay.
They are
he's Candyman.
Yeah, the new Candyman. I'm interested to see either way.
I'll see it.
Yeah, Jordan Peele is a genius. I know a lot of, here I go again saying a lot of people liked it, a lot of people hated it. But Get Out.
I don't know anyone that hated it.
It's just the internet.
No,
people really, really shit on it. And I don't want to be one of those guys who's like, you just didn't get it, man. But
it was different. It had a good that paranoia feeling of everyone around you. And I like the. It felt a very throwback twist when I got to the ending.
Yeah,
and it was the doctor's sequences.
Yeah,
trying to be semi vague but semi specific, discussing it.
Yeah,
that's a good that's something that shouldn't work in 2018. How they kind of ended.
Yeah.
That, but I mean, it fits in a 1987 window easily.
Yeah.
So
it's got that like a Stepford Wives. Which Jordan Peele said like Stepford Wives and Rosemary's Baby were his structure, his inspiration for this film, and both of those movies are really fucked up, and Get Out knocks it out of the park. So
it is. It's not a popcorn movie though.
No, it's a sit down.
It's a good one. Yeah, it's that other criteria of like, no, this is as good a movie as anything we have. Mm-hmm. But you got to be like, you want to watch Get Out or like. Yeah, we got people coming over. We'll pass on Get Out for now. It's like, oh, is it just us here? Like, throw that shit on.
Yeah, so you can fully absorb it.
Yeah.
And Jordan Peele, man, he's gonna keep going. That's another thing in the news with him is that he has taken over the Twilight Zone franchise, and he's going to be at the helm of this series. So we have that, and we were just discussing at length last night because. Evil and What's Up Pam are finally, well, I'm not saying finally because you have seen the original series.
I've seen them. I got the original series for my wife for her. It was some like her birthday. It was some event. I was like, I'm gonna give her the Twilight Zone series because she enjoys the series. Mm-hmm. And on some of the streaming services, not all the episodes are there.
It's missing season 4 on Netflix, which is a strange thing.
So. Fun parts of streaming that better to actually own your shit.
Yeah, because they can just say, I don't think you need season 4, or I don't think they omit certain episodes. They did that with Saved by the Bell, which is
and there's some we found out because some of them fall under different rights. Like Quantum Leap has the same thing with it.
Yeah,
there's a wrestling episode of it where it's not on the network setups.
That's very strange. So
because they fall under different. Wings has an episode that is one of the wife's favorites because she likes. That show on occasion, but she's like, that can never find this one episode because it's under a weird rights issue where it's not available on streaming. Because she actually called Netflix and was like, why isn't these episodes here?
Physical media is king, interwebs.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things we were discussing, and I'd like to see what you people think.
I can see him. It ain't us. It's the easiest thing in the world in my mind to see him in the suit, sitting at the diner. Introducing an episode and being like the extra bonus treat every like 4 or 5 episodes, and it's like written and directed by him as well. It's
yeah. So the thing is, the 2000s when they did they brought it back and they had Forrest Whitaker as the host, and it had I think Korn did the theme song, and then you go back to the 80s.
Very 2000s.
I can't remember who did the reboot in the 80s theme song. It's a metal band. Someone post that, let me know. But that was what Wes Craven was involved in the 80s. Wes Craven was heavily behind a lot of the 80s Twilight Zone. Do you not?
I don't remember that.
I'm going to let you borrow that. That's amazing. But what we're discussing is because...
I just know those two of that original and then that failed 2000 run.
In the 80s, they did some remakes of the first run episodes. And then in the 2000s, they did some, more remakes of some of those classic 2000 episodes. So we were discussing if we think Jordan Peele is going to do like a modern, 2018 take on some of these classic episodes, like the Thing on the Wing, or what's some other like great ones like Time Enough at Last with the glasses, or the Monsters on Maple Street, or I can't think of the title. The she's in the fever dream. The sun's getting too close to Earth. Yeah.
The dude who was tested to not speak for a year.
That one's amazing. But I would love to see his take on some of those classic themes, because we've kind of come full circle, and some of that stuff that was so relevant.
What's old is new and new is old, and some stuff is just as much today as it ever was. They Live, perfect example of that.
Exactly. And so I would love to see the progression of that, some of the same stories, and how how relevant they still are. I would love to see it.
I forgot to tell you the one we watched probably a few days before we came up. That I was trying to find because I heard something about it on one of my pods I listened to at work, and they were talking about an episode where a dude gets a stopwatch. That stops time.
Yep.
I was like, I need to find this. I want to watch this. I've never seen that one before.
It's great.
Yeah, that one was that.
And
I like his old like. Hey, watch, see? You just stop it. Hey, you see anything like this before in your life, eh?
Yeah.
Like, he has like that old 60s salesman kind of like repetition to his speak, and I was like,
that's the one where the guy.
He stops the watch and it stops time.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of his name because I don't want to sit here and dwell on it too long, but it's this character. He has all these ideas. He works at this job and he's a blowhard. He fucking never stops talking. Yada yada yada. And so they have a suggestion box where he works, and so he puts all these retarded suggestions in there. Like, I can't remember what his job is, but it pertains to none of these suggestions. He's like, why not make hot dogs flat? So then you can eat,
I remember that.
Weird shit like that. And
which is, I'm surprised that didn't actually become a thing.
That's bologna, son. Fry up some bologna.
Touche.
So we got some flat hot dogs now.
I just want them called like
flat hot dogs.
Yeah, like you want round hot dogs or flat hot dogs. I want that as an option when someone's grilling at a Memorial Day barbecue. Like, you want a flat dog or a round dog?
A round dog. So
you just put two of them on a hamburger bun.
Yeah. And so he's just this blowhard idiot.
Terrible ideas.
And he gets
salesman.
And he's at a bar. He basically chases everybody out of this bar. He makes friends.
Talking their ear off.
Yeah, makes friends with this.
We all know this guy.
Yeah, we all have one. I'm probably it. So
I would be it if I talked to anybody.
He gets this stopwatch, and he can pause time. But then, every Twilight Zone has that twist, so he breaks his stopwatch, and he's stuck.
Yeah,
like, no one to talk to.
In the middle of a bank robbery, and he's running around telling everyone, like, just move.
Yes.
Move.
So, yeah. Unless I'm combining two episodes, but I don't think I am.
No, I watched it just recently,
Yep.
and that's what happens. Entirely what happens is that he's in the middle of robbing that bank, and he drops it.
Mm-hmm. So money, nothing matters anymore.
All because he bought some random dude a beer.
Yep.
In that bar, and he's like, "This is my new friend.
Yep.
Get him a beer." And he didn't even drink the full beer. He drinks like 2 big gulps of it, and he's like, "I'm giving you this gift of a stopwatch." And they just like, it takes him a few times to like realize that
it's working.
Yeah. Like,
what?
Why aren't you moving, bartender?
Yeah, and that's another, like, that episode is so good because they couldn't really like freeze frame. There's a couple of times, like the camera's looking out the window at the streets.
Oh yeah, it's like just pausing.
They just
the
pause.
Film.
But like when those actors have to
they're
freeze,
just,
and they do a fantastic job. Like,
they don't move. They're good.
Yeah,
you don't see no movement at all.
Really good, and it holds up.
And I've seen that done elsewhere, and you can see very subtle in this because we're
the Halloween remake.
We're sticklers, and we're gonna look for that shit. Where he's just like,
that guy's breathing.
Yeah, he's breathing. He's not dead.
Yep.
Of course he's not dead. It's a fucking movie.
But still.
But he's not playing dead.
Not playing dead well enough.
His throat's moving.
Yeah. Like Friday the 13th 5.
Yes.
Every time you're like she ain't dead.
I look for that every time in any shot of someone that's clearly alive that's dead, and you get to see. I'm like always looking right around here just to.
Yep. So the trick is, Hollywood actors,
quit breathing.
Quit breathing, for one. But maybe just have a fat neck so they can't see. If you have
poltergeist that shit and bring in real corpses.
Yes. Hello.
Ignore that.
So those are a handful of the things that are on the horizon, horror-wise. Also, this is taking place a little bit after Thanksgiving. It's now December, but the Joe Bob Briggs Thanksgiving marathon went off without a hitch, the mini marathon, and now they're plotting a mini marathon before, like the day before Christmas or somewhere around Christmas, and then they're having a Christmas marathon. And they're going to do 4 movies from the same franchise, and they're going to have a special guest, which if I had to guess, since it's a Christmas franchise, it's going to be Silent Night, Deadly Night.
It's the only one I really know of. Something like that I assume Shudder is going to get the rights for. And I got to say,
We're not sponsored by Shudder or anything.
Shudder.
But the movie Crypt is.
Yeah, I gave it a test run for the 30-day trial, and it was having issues when I had it because I couldn't get any of the thumbnails to load, so I didn't know what any of the titles were. Yeah. So I've never gone back to it yet. I may eventually go back to it because
it's worth it for the Joe Bob. That's what I'm totally getting.
The debate is still going on at the house of like, man, should we dump Netflix or not? And I was like, should we? I don't know.
You don't do Netflix very often, but you do
we
Amazon.
Do and we don't.
Yeah.
Like it runs in weird waves.
So
Shudder would be what I would pick if I'm going with something else.
Yeah, in my opinion, Shudder.
Because you're solidly on it.
Oh, their catalog is outstanding, and I'm really not trying to pitch them, but it
is good. But it's weird because when I was looking at it, I couldn't find a lot of like really like core shit. But if I'm looking on Amazon Prime, they're like, what's showing on Shudder? Excellent selection.
Mm-hmm. So that was a few months ago. Their layout was a little wonky, and it's way more solid now. I think when they had the first Joe Bob marathon and it crashed the site, like no one could tune in, and so now I feel like they've revamped Shudder. So Shudder is stable and it's loading nicely. But the thing is that I just listened to the Mick Garris Postmortem podcast. For anyone who is a Mick Garris fan, he had Joe Bob on there, and they kind of discuss that not only is he doing these mini marathons, but they're talking about maybe him doing hosting like 1 or 2 movies a week. So we're essentially getting Monster Vision back, but we're getting it's called The Last Drive-In now. And listen, once a week, 2 movies with Joe Bob. It's the whole reason I had cable when I was a kid. So
yeah, that's weird because my parents, mainly Mom, used to watch Monster Vision like all the time. They would always laugh at his counts and everything. And then when he came to town and we got to meet him, I was like, "Hey, Joe Bob's coming to town. We're gonna meet him." And it's like she's like, "Who's that?"
Yeah,
I'm like, "You watched Monster Vision. You showed me this guy." And he's like,
"Nope." See,
no memory of him.
And when we got to meet him, obviously, if you follow this channel, you can see the similarities between the Rotten Roger reviews and the
drive-in totals.
The drive-in totals, because obviously I was heavily influenced by him when I was a child. I would write him letters every week, and I've always had this weird thing about when we watch movies to, you take a little note of these weird like things, how many dead bodies, how many tits, and when I got to meet him, I got to explain that to him, and it's so crazy. It's full circle. It's like cable is doesn't matter, but the influence that he had on an entire generation of people, and now there's so many content creators who pull from that well of what he did for us. Mm-hmm. And it's nice for people who don't know who Joe Bob is or what he did. It's nice to sort of give back to the genre in that way. I don't know.
And I'll reveal my like total dude crush on this guy, because all that stuff happens closer to where I live than where he lives. So when I got the information that, hey, Joe Bob's going to come to town and host something, I'm like, I got to get tickets, and he has to be there. Mm-hmm. Same thing when Adam Green came to town to do Victor Crowley. I was like, I got to bring this guy in. It's like, I got to find a way to get this guy up here for this.
Yeah, and I'm eternally grateful. Both encounters made me cry. So, that tough guy, rah-rah shit. But listen,
it's not there.
No, Adam
cry
Green,
like babies at
shit now. Screaming like banshees.
It's true.
Adam Green knows how he downplays it, but he knows how important he is to to this.
I think he does, but he keeps a very level head.
He's so chill. Him and Joe Lynch are both extremely chill. They're very humble when it comes to getting when someone fanboys at them.
Joe Lynch, I think, has set the all-time record high for best celebrity you ever want to meet.
Yeah,
easily. He's a bar.
Yeah, short of, like you said, him coming in your house, taking his shoes off, fucking cracking a soda, and watching a flick with you.
Yeah,
that's
everybody that came up to him, "Hi, I'm Joe Lynch. hi, but not like, it was very like, hi, I'm Joe Lynch. What's your name? Mm-hmm. And he remembered you too. If you came back 6 hours later, like, hey, it's me again. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Yeah. It blew my mind, and I have a fantastic story about the Joe Lynch thing.
Yeah, you do.
My daughter and my son came to the event, and
Panic Fest last year when Adam and Joe came in.
They played Victor Crowley and they played Mayhem, and so my daughter and my son worked the nerve up to go and take Adam and Joe a couple gifts that they made them, and talk with Adam and Joe and meet Arwen, and when it came time for my wife and my children to leave, but Evil and I were vendors, so we
got to stay.
So we had to stay.
Bye, children.
Yeah, so we're ushering our children out, and my daughter starts crying, and because she knows she might never see Joe Lynch again, and Joe was actually leaving to go get something to eat, like take a little break, because they've been vending for a while, and then also there was movies playing, so they want to go see these movies, and they have stuff that they're doing.
And they did not charge for any autographs.
No.
We were the dickheads who brought up like 10 things, like
everything.
Sign everything you've made
Please,
for us. They're like, cool.
And so Joe is a very tall person.
Yeah, he's tall, a little bit taller than me.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm a short guy. I'm a 5'5" guy on a good day. And
6'1", 6'2", depending on which convenience store I'm leaving.
Yeah, right. So, my daughter is crying, and I am attempting to console her. And Joe comes walking by, and he sees her crying. And I'm assuming his children are somewhere around the age of our children.
Yeah, he has two.
Yeah,
no, he has a son that's like literally the same age as my youngest.
Pliskin, and which is fucking fantastic.
Yes.
So he sees my daughter crying, and he kneels down. And What's Up, Pam got some fantastic pictures of this moment. He asks her what's wrong, and she's like wiping her eyes, and she's like, I don't think I'm ever gonna get to see you again. And the look on his face, he's like, oh, honey, like, we'll see me again, I promise. He hugs my daughter. He asks for her Instagram. He asks for, because my daughter loves to draw. And he says, anytime you draw something for me, post it on there and tag me. I will look at it. And just really inspiring her to keep being a creative person. I'm going to fucking cry. And so my daughter...
I think you mean we there, because I'm trying not to over here.
It makes my daughter's day, right? And then, so my family leaves, and then it's probably 3 hours later, we go up to shoot the shit with Joe. It's towards the end of the night, and he tells me, he says, hey,
where the hanger's on, they're like, we're always going to be hanging.
Yeah, well, we're vendors, so we got to pack up last once they lock the door.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Hey, damn. Adam, Joe, funny meeting you right here.
Yeah, what's going on, fellas? So Joe comes up and he tells me, when he left, when he went to go eat or whatever it was he was doing, he had to call his wife and tell his wife about my daughter, and like it made an impact on him. And he told me that her emotions like made the weekend. And I gotta say, like, Joe Lynch is a fantastic person. He's one of these guys that it's just like Adam. They're so down to earth, and they're so humble, and they truly believe in that being a kid, that
family feeling.
Yeah, and that like no one can tell you that you can't be a creative person. Mm-hmm. And if you have a passion for something, stick at it and keep going. And the movie Crypt is the main reason that I walked out of a dead-end job and started working on film, and was started as a PA and became an art department guy, and then the reason that the reviews got revamped and we're back doing these things. And we can't thank guys like Adam and Joe and Joe Bob enough for inspiring everybody. And it's amazing. Like, my daughter obviously has not seen a Joe Lynch film.
But they have seen some Holliston.
They've seen some snippets here and there of Holliston. And obviously my family knows how important like Adam and Joe Bob are to me. So my daughter can sense that. My daughter knows that these are good people who are creating things that are impacting the world.
And that was the first one that happened to her on, because everyone else, both our kids are like, yeah, we met him.
Yeah, it's very. Tyson was very moved by Derek Mears, but that's another guy who understands a fan base. He understands.
Derek is such an awesome dude.
He is. People don't give.
He is always in a good mood.
Yeah,
too,
people
seemingly.
don't. People don't seem to know how hilarious he is. Like that's.
He is. Yeah. Cut it out.
Yeah.
Funny dude. Always funny. He was complimenting our mask making abilities when we saw him this past year at our at Crypticon.
Yeah.
Thinking they were sadistic.
Yeah,
but fun.
Derek stopped by the table, admired some masks. Ken Kersinger stopped by the table, admired some masks.
That was fun.
That's one of the things we do on the side, which we don't try to, we're not trying to cram down people's throats. But there's a video way back on this channel of the mask collection. At that point, everything that I had in stock.
Yeah, that we both made.
And there will be more videos of the stuff that we've made, and maybe do some videos of us making some masks.
This being one of them.
Just everything is the China Hawks or whatever. They're blanks purchased, sanded down, retooled. Nothing crazy. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Nothing crazy like molding wise or anything.
Yeah.
That's just
painting and sculpting from what we have.
Yeah, it's just an outlet to be creative, and we thought maybe some people would be into these. So it's just something we do on the side. We can get a gig. We can go to conventions. We go to conventions anyway. So maybe we can go to conventions and hang out and shoot the shit with other horror nerds, because real life sucks.
Yeah, and we make just kind of enough to get into the show and a little bit to have some fun when we're there and replenish what we do. Yep. We're not making huge money off of it, but it's fun still to do.
Yeah,
I'm getting better at it. I didn't start out too great at it.
I say hush. I say nay.
No, you were doing much better than I was out the gate. I kind of started getting better.
It started. The entire thing is because Friday the 13th is my franchise. It is my bread and butter. I know that franchise inside and out, everything about that franchise.
Up and down, back and forth.
Yep. I mean, that's what we do.
Get the hell away from her head.
Yeah, get the hell away from her head.
Someone knows what that's about.
Take that. So what it started with was I wanted one mask from each film to hang on the wall down in the movie room. And most mask makers generally are, if you want a fiberglass mask or whatever, they're between $100 to $200 a pop.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, I'm going to look up how to do this, because I think I could do this. So I watched a couple videos, and I said, I'm going to give it a shot. So I made a mask from every film, hung it on the wall, and I made Evil a Part 8 mask, and I made his wife a Part 5 mask.
Those are two of our favorites. I generally like 7 best, but 8 I was like, that was the first one I watched beginning to end on my own.
Mm-hmm. And so I was just sitting around one day, and I said, I wonder if we could do these at a convention. So I message him, and I say, what do you think about making these masks? And initially, his response was, no, I'll hang out with you, and you can make them.
I was like, I don't think I could do this.
Don't let him fool you. In real life, he's very creative.
You better, goddammit. I don't think I could do this, Bert.
I hit the fucking brain. So yeah, he.
But he asked on the anniversary of the initial movie release,
which I didn't even realize it was at the time. So we kind of took it as a.
Fuck it.
Yeah, it was like a sign. So we said, sure. So now we make masks in our spare time. We talk about movies in our other spare time, and then we raise families with what's left. Sort of.
In that order, sure.
Yeah, sure, right? Like that. That's how we do things.
I did want for one of these episodes, and since it's here, I think you should totally do it. But you want another almost I'm not crying moment. This glove right here has an interesting origin story.
Oh, yeah.
To how it got here.
And
I love hearing this story.
We delve into this story.
I love this story.
I was maybe 14.
Just a lad.
Somewhere around there. 14.
3 feet ago.
15. Yeah, about. And I used to, this is like internet infancy. I used to...
So 14, yeah, it was like 97? 98?
Yeah, I was born in 84. So yeah,
80, yeah, 98.
Yeah. So
barely internet.
So I used to like comb the internet and comb these message boards and look for like contact information on celebrities. And at the time I was sort of like this amateur, which I still am, like sculpting and doing these things that were god awful. And I somehow or another come across Kevin Yeager's contact information. So I send him a letter and tell him, hey, I'm a kid, I do this, you know, you got any advice or whatever. And we sort of had this very brief correspondence. It was, you know, one letter back like, hey, thanks for reaching out, you know, typed with a signature type of deal. And then it says, well, send me something. So I had this really rough mask that I had made. And so I pack this mask up and I ship it out. And, you know, I'm a kid, so I've got a billion other things going on. I'm a terrible student. I'm a
Time goes by fast.
You know, you're rocking the summer and swimming and whatever kids do. Whatever these kids do.
Puberty.
Yeah. And
whatever these kids do, yeah.
And then my mom lets me know one day, you got a box in the mail. And so I'm like,
Amazon isn't here yet. What is this?
Yeah, I did always go on Amazon and look at stuff back then. I was supposed to be in computer lab, and I would look on Amazon at movies and write down in a notebook what movies I wanted to buy.
Nerd.
That's why I didn't graduate. But so I come home and there's this box, and I open this box and there's a letter on top, and it's from Kevin Yeager, and it says, you know, thank you for sending me the mask, and you know, you can do this, anybody can do this, and you know, not to, it's essentially the Adam Green and the Joe Lynch. It's don't lose this passion, don't lose this spark, you know, and it says, here is a glove, a hero glove, something to the tune of, this is a glove from the filming of Elm Street 4. And I don't know the logistics. I don't know how many were made for this movie. And I never really, growing up, treated this with the respect it should be treated with. It was hanging on my wall. It's not in a shadow box.
Because you want to wear it on occasion. What's her name's face is skin fibers are probably still in the tips of the blades.
Yeah. And nearest I can gather, what I feel like is that it's from the end sequence, the church
I think
scene.
it's right here. I think it's this.
It could very well be that.
I think it's that.
But, because it's not sharp, but it's sharp enough.
Yeah, like, it's like, ooh, yeah.
That's metal. So it could very well be from Sheila.
Yeah, that's Sheila's chin right here.
You know,
or it's like, this is what was flying at Rick.
It's expertly crafted.
Cyanor, Rick's son. It's
beautiful.
It is.
And it's just one of those things that...
If he didn't have a sweet story, I would have stole this shit from him years ago.
That's what's so important about this genre, you know?
Name any other genre that kind of story comes out.
You can't. What are you gonna do? Get something from Love Actually or something? You know, I mean, no one. But it was like it was one of those things where it's like, this guy doesn't know me. This is pre-internet. This is pre-everything, and I get a box in the mail saying, "Check this out. Keep at it." You know. And it's been one of those things like that's just like forever ingrained in me. Like,
this is what shapes him today.
And that's the same.
This kind of stuff.
And it's the same thing with being a kid.
At heart, forever.
Yeah, and my mom taking me to meet Robert Englund when Freddy's Dead was becoming.
I still haven't gotten to do that.
So I've only met Robert once, and I was 7 years old, 1990, 91 ish. You know, and
going into Freddy's Dead.
Yeah, they were totally promoting Freddy's Dead, and he was at a car show. He was at this thing at this place called the Civic Auditorium in Omaha, Nebraska, and there was car shows and like Tiny Toon Adventures was a thing. So they had like guys dressed as the Tiny Toon Adventures. You could go like meet them and whatever. I don't remember much of that, but I remember my mom taking me and standing in this line for hours as a child, and there's a sea of people all wearing Elm Street shirts, and so it was the coolest thing ever. I could read these people's shirts while I'm
91's not easy to find them either.
Yeah, and there was like there was a guy in front of me that I vividly remember. He had a "Don't Dream and Drive" shirt.
Oh my gosh, I love that shirt.
I vividly remember.
That's a bumper sticker I need too.
And we waited in this line forever, and I had this crumpled up piece of paper, folded, that I had drawn of Freddy in school, like him standing in front of the Elm Street house and the for sale signs on fire, and it's horrible, horrible picture.
Metal as fuck.
And so like everyone comes up on this podium or on this stage, and gets to ask him a question, shake his hand. He's not taking pictures with people, and he's not signing autographs. It's just like a come up, say what's up. He answers your question. You get kind of ushered off. And it was taking a long time because there's a lot of people. And I finally get it to be my turn. And I come up and I'm very nervous, And my mom kind of gives me this nudge like, hey, we waited a long time. You gotta, you
better fucking say something to him.
Go say what's up. And he grabs the mic and in total Freddy voice goes, "What's the matter, Dustin? Bashful." And I fucking took off. And my mom says, no, get back here. And he goes, hey, I'm just messing with you. So, as he's telling me in front of, and so there's thousands of people laughing at me. And so I turn around and I come back and I, shake his hand and I say, I have something for you. And he says, oh yeah, what do you got? And so I get this picture and I'm all sweaty and clammy and I give it to him. And he looks at it and he says, this is really good. And he says, I tell you what, he says, back at my office, I have this cork board, and I hang up fan mail from kids. And I'm going to stick that right on there. So you know that I'm taking this home, and I'm going to put it in my office. And he goes, and for that, I'm going to give you a little something. And he has this, like, leather satchel. He gets this leather satchel, and it's a 8x10. One side of it is Robert Englund. One side of it is Freddy Krueger. And he grabs the mic and he goes, I'm giving this kid an autograph. Don't nobody ask for one. Kind of doing the Freddy thing. And he signs this autograph to Dustin. Thanks for the swell picture of me as Freddy. Robert Englund. No picture.
All for him feeling bad for freaking you out.
And yeah, that's exactly what it was, because he scared the piss out of me.
Like, oh shit.
And so we go. And I'll tell you, that meeting alone let me see behind the curtain just enough, at such a young age that I became obsessed with. I was an Elm Street guy right then and there. This is my franchise. And until I got a little older, and then I kind of switched teams, and I went with the Jason stuff. But
sorry, I'm still on the other side, so I keep bringing you back.
Yeah, I'm not a hater by any means, but that it changed everything. It's one of those things that's it's so important. And that story where we go full circle with that's what Robert Englund did for me, I think Joe Lynch did for my daughter.
Yeah.
And that's a crazy, crazy
full circle
world,
That's why it brings the emotions out of you, because you're seeing yourself
in this genre
all over again.
It's this genre. You can't do this with an action movie unless you're meeting Schwarzenegger, or a Stallone or something.
I ain't got $1,700 to meet him.
But these guys that you come across at these conventions, like I feel bad because I can't think of his name, Kincaid.
Oh, fuck. They got me Roland.
Roland Kincaid is his name in the movie.
I'm just stuck on.
I'm totally drawing a blank.
If the camera wasn't here, we'd be like, "Oh yeah,
yeah."
Oh my god.
So we'll come back to that. But meeting him was one of those things. He donates a lot of his money to, children's like schools, like inner city schools and things like that. And he got to be at a convention we were at one year. and I'm friends with him on Facebook, which is another reason why I'm having a hard time not remembering his name, which is bothering me about that. And
don't look over here.
So I message him on Facebook and I say, hey man, when we cross paths, can we get a picture of us bending a chair? And
genius idea,
he's like, that is amazing, absolutely, yes. So when I finally get to meet him, I come up to him, I say, hey, I'm the guy who said, can we bend a chair? Because, you know, like, I associate myself sort of like the tough guy, and he plays an amazing tough guy. So we bend the chair, and then I kind of talk to him a little bit. Well, later in the weekend, he's getting ready to leave. He's waiting for his plane. And you kicking yourself in the ass?
Yes, because it's ridiculous.
What is it?
Ken Sagos.
Ken Sagos, yes. So Ken Sagos is waiting.
Card's taken away for that.
Yeah, right, we just got revoked.
Oh my god. I feel like a fucking idiot. We'll think of weird, really obscure shit, and then stuff that comes back and we're like, shit.
Like the dog from The Hidden. But so
Dog Finn, same dog in Nightmare on Elm Street 4.
Which is Ken Sagos' dog. So he's waiting for his plane, and I come up to him, I say, hey man, I just want to say thank you again. And he's like completely perplexed. He says, for what? And I said, I just want to say, like, how much you mean to me. Like, most people will go fucking apeshit over like a Brad Pitt or a fucking George Clooney, but I'm crossing paths with Kincaid. And
take that,
motherfucker. This man was in my living room more than my own father. And so I got to, sort of explain that to him. And it's one of those things. He's a dude who did 2 movies in fucking 1984 or 87, 88. And who could ever predict that would have such a lasting
on
impact?
Anybody?
And
I wouldn't believe that ever if it was me.
Right, and it's crazy, and that's the thing about this genre, how important it really is. I cannot picture like anyone being like, yeah, I watched your guys' show and it helped me. I'd be like, why? Yeah, exactly. Like, but you never know who you're reaching out to, what you're doing, and the horror genre is so diverse with things like that. And I hate to have been like super emotional for like 20 fucking minutes right there, but that's
part of getting older. That just happens. It's the reason why we can't watch Pet Sematary completely anymore, or Monster Squad for me.
Hey, Monster Squad forever, son.
I love Monster Squad. Can't finish it anymore. I start crying like a fucking baby. Frankenstein going into the abyss. I'm all like, oh my god.
You can't hang.
I can't.
I can't watch
it's fucking embarrassing.
And I can't do the Pet Sematary thing because Gage looks almost identical to my son. So it's really tough,
I never could be good with animals getting killed in movies ever.
Right.
And kids are a thing now, having to. It's tough.
Right. When I was younger, the reason I couldn't watch Pet Sematary was because of Zelda. Now, Zelda still bothers me, but
nothing compared to now, yeah.
Watching Gage die is a tough pill to swallow, and I don't enjoy it. So
because we're always projecting our own into that spot. That's all of us, at least us in any way, how we prefer our violence.
Yeah. Real
shit we really don't handle well.
Yeah, I'd rather my violence be on the screen. I am not a violent...
That's why I like pro wrestling. I don't like real fighting. Give me that fake shit. Give me a fun story.
Yeah, I like the real fighting, but then again, that's another thing. It's still on the screen for me. Yeah. I still have a level of separation. Now, I don't want, someone to punch me in my fucking head out in the yard, but I will watch someone fight. I don't know, like I would watch
a professional fight.
Professional fight.
Yeah, I'm just a bit more, I guess, than you are. Just a bit though, but we're both in that same boat of like, I don't like real shit. Yeah, real shit's brutal, and I can't. It's no. Give me the fake stuff on screen. That's easy to do.
Yeah, that's easy to deal with. That's and then again you can cross the line there as well. Like I talk about in a lot of my reviews, you cross the line and you hit a certain level of violence in horror where it stops becoming like a splattery, cartoony vibe. you take something like From Beyond and how much fun the
Gooiness.
gore and the goo and it's gross, like Ticks.
Yeah,
Ticks.
like last night watching Ticks. That's a really gooey, fucking messy movie, but fun.
It's fun, but then you watch like something with the same amount of goo or gore, like a Cannibal Holocaust.
Fuck that movie.
And it's upsetting.
That's upsetting on a different level for me. That's
Yeah.
straight up real animal torture on film. I'm like, no.
Don't.
But like, I still have not seen it, and I will never. 'Cause I'm going to keep part of my sanity. But a Serbian film.
Yeah, we're crossing every line there.
Which that's a fun one. I remember you telling me about trying to watch that movie for the first time.
Yeah, I had to pause the film. See, at repulsivereviews.com, the
tie-in story here.
The owner, the person who runs it, Frank Fulci, we both this bodybuilding monster of a man.
Yeah.
He tells me, "Hey, I just got done watching a Serbian film, and I don't think that you could handle it. And now you've issued a challenge to me." And I say,
and this goes a bit too.
I say, "You don't know me. I can handle anything." So I said, "Where's
you don't want this Dewey Cox?"
Yeah, you don't want no part of this shit. So I said, "Where's the link?" He sends me a link. I click order. 3 days later, I have a Serbian film in my hand. It's over here somewhere. It's in the S's. Serbian.
Don't find it.
It's right here.
No, it's between us.
It is between us.
It is literally and figuratively.
Film, uncut, right here. And so I get it, and I start watching it while my family is at home. And my wife says, "Whoa, no, I'll take the kids to the movie, and you watch this at home by yourself." So I said, okay. So I get my breakfast. I'm having eggs.
That's a mistake too there.
Yeah, I'm having eggs and whatnot, and I'm thinking, only a puss couldn't handle this, right?
Are you some kind of chicken?
Yeah, what are you, some kind of a wimp? Bunch of slack-jawed faggots around here. So I throw the movie on while...
That film will make you a sexual tyrannosaurus.
In the worst way possible.
Yeah.
So I watch this movie, and I'm maybe 45 minutes in, and this is where I'm going to get my tough guy card revoked from the internet people who tune in this far.
I never had one, so I'm all right. Giving mine up.
I hit about 45 minutes, and I'm starting to get bothered, like genuinely bothered by the happenings on screen, which I don't need to go into depth.
Nope.
So I pause this film, and I literally have myself like a Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer moment. I go into the bathroom, and I'm staring at myself in the mirror. And I go, out loud, to myself, "Do you need to finish this movie? Or can you shut it off, put it on the shelf, and lie to Frank and say, I finished it, and it didn't bother me, and you're full of crap." And the stupidity won, and I said, "No, fuck that. I'm Rotten Roger DeMarco, and I can watch anything." So I went back out, and I watched the movie, and when it got over, I was physically upset, bothered by this movie, which I know a lot of people really dig it. So, and it felt like the Evil Dead remake to me. Like you know how the book is wrapped in plastic and like barbed wire. I felt like I should do that to my copy of a Serbian film and then like bury it in the dirt portion of the basement. Like,
and that's when I get tied into the story, because then What's Up Pam gets involved.
Yeah, What's Up Pam? Upon one of our meetings and we're hanging out, she says, "Well, what's the?"
Yeah, she makes a mistake first of sending the message to him.
She says, "What's the grossest movie you've ever seen? Like gross out factor." And so, of course, I say, a Serbian film. But I follow it with the disclaimer of I'm telling you this.
The disclaimer is also the same thing that got him sucked in.
And I issue a warning. I tell the story of Frank and me. And then I say, you don't need to see this movie. All you need to know is that it crosses every line that there was meant to not cross.
And she took that as exactly the same challenge that he saw it as. and she had to see it. And she was completely shell-shocked by it. Misery loves company, and she had to find a friend of hers to do it too.
It's like The Ring. It's like the cursed videotape. If you don't pass it on,
she was up till like 7 a.m.
You die.
Trying to palate cleanse herself.
You got to watch some Care Bears and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for all the negativity that I'm spewing about this movie,
I have never seen it and will not.
So you don't have any ground to stand on, but I will say, the cinematography is fantastic.
That's what I've heard.
The gore, the effects are second to none. They're very well done. Very well executed. The score to the movie is great.
And what's up, Pam? She's always said the story is awesome. It's a very good story and a good, ending to the story. She's told me everything about it, so I don't need to see it. And yeah, seeing someone's face after watching it, I don't want to see it.
Yeah, it's one of those where I just talked about it on the channel with The Dentist, how The Dentist is sort of a rite of passage film that I would pass off on people. And that's going to tell you what kind of person I am. If I'm thinking that The Dentist is a bothersome film, like with the teeth grinding and the things that happen in that movie, like that's the level of ye.
Because it's a fun movie, but it can border into. It's
gross.
Yeah,
it's got
shit is gross.
It hurts. I don't want to watch it. So that's like my level of pass it on, and I wish I could take back passing a Serbian film on to your wife.
Nah, I mean she went on to watch it twice or 3 times because she had a friend get her a copy of it, and the friend that got it for her is like, I can't stop crying since I've seen it. And she's really freaked out by it now.
She hung herself 3 days later.
Yeah. And then the friend she made watch was the same fucked up as she was.
So. Walked into oncoming traffic. And,
and she keeps like, you don't want to watch it. I'm like, you're right. You're not going to peer pressure me backwards into wanting to see this movie.
It ain't happening.
That's what that's how she always describes, like, you don't want to see it. But she always frames it in that way of like,
you do though, don't you?
Yeah, like, you want to see it. You can't handle it, can you? I don't think you can. You ain't got the sack to shoot a woodchuck. But yeah, because I'd heard about it before from another friend I used to hang out with, and so when I heard the title, I was like, I heard about that. Don't watch that movie.
Yeah, don't do it. Whenever I bring it up, I say a Serbian film, and then people go, yeah, but what's it called? It's called a Serbian film. It's almost like that "Who's on First" joke.
Yeah.
But what is it though? It was made in Serbia. What's it called?
Well, what would you title it though? If you had to retitle a Serbian film, what would you title it?
That's
Since
a good
I've
question.
not seen it. No, I want you on the spot to give me like throw something out now. What would you be if you're given the task of retitling a Serbian film? What do you give it?
Oh God.
And this is good because I was like, I don't have any ground to say because I've never seen it, so I can't title it. I would probably go with something really, from what I've heard, very blunt. But what would you title it there? Throw something out there.
Is it just a if it's a porn title?
A dark porn.
All my son's cavities. I don't know.
Oh. I'm calling. That's it. That's it there.
I'm sorry. That's
a great title. That's perfect.
God, that movie is a gut punch, folks. So, with that being said, I think we've kind of covered...
Yeah, you can't go on a higher note than that.
We covered the gambit of... We talked about new things. We talked about... passions, and
what brought him here, what keeps us going, what the community's about, what we're about.
And so now we've ended
on all the son's cavities.
All my son's cavities. It could be like maybe we recut some of the scenes from it and then put
people might think that's a Dentist Part 3 thing right there.
Or make it like an 80s sitcom, like an opener, and do that.
Freeze frames.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Opening a door.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I'm fucking my son. So, wow. On that
I have
note.
nothing for that. You win. You win the day. Win the day.
On that note, we should probably get going because there's a lot of movies out there, and somebody's got to watch them. So why not us, right?
All my son's cavities. Here we go.
Woohoo!